From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Friday, October 3rd, 2025.
I'm Dave Boucher with the Detroit Free Press. When a man dies after committing a heinous crime, his loved ones can get swept up in the blame. So, it was with trepidation that Katie Hamilton decided to learn a little bit more about the fundraiser. There are several fundraisers established to help victims of the attack on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. Police say 4 people died and 8 were wounded after Thomas Jacob Sanford, 40, crashed his pickup truck into the church, set it ablaze, and opened fire before law enforcement officers killed him. But Katie Hamilton is Sanford's sister, and this fundraiser was for her family. A friend sent her the information. Mormons and many others wanted to give her family money. That can't be right, Hamilton thought. It must be a sick joke. Then, 3 days after the attack, she read some of the hundreds of comments tied to the fundraiser that has since topped $250,000. It took my breath away, Hamilton said. This church is so forgiving and understanding and caring, and their first thing was to worry about the family that was left behind. David Butler, a Utah-based writer and Mormon, said it was an easy call for him to set up the fundraiser. He told the Free Press, quote, "You mourn with those who mourn, you turn the other cheek, you take care of the widows and the orphans." That's a core tenet of the LDS faith, said Patrick Mason, a Mormon historian, professor at Utah State University. At church, he said Mormons consistently hear about forgiveness and compassion. He added, quote, "I think those messages have really sunk into people's hearts." Katie Hamilton said she may never know what was in her brother's heart. He changed decades ago after serving in the Marines. He also lived in Utah for a time. While there, according to statements a friend and political candidates gave to media outlets, Sanford fomented a grudge against Mormons. Hamilton said her brother did not like to talk about his time in the Marines or in Utah. Although he did not have a formal diagnosis, she's confident he suffered from something akin to PTSD. Hamilton said, quote, "We, as a family, don't have an answer. And that's probably the hardest thing about right now, because we don't know." Sanford's widow is surviving, Hamilton said. In addition to getting her house ready to sell and ensuring their son, who has a chronic illness, is cared for, she's dealing with insurance and her own job while juggling bills. And she's looking for answers that might never come. But at a time when every moment borders on unbearable, Hamilton said at least the family doesn't have to worry about finding money to keep the lights on, make the car payment, or cover the cost of a funeral. As Hamilton said, quote, "The forgiveness from the church and the compassion is allowing our family to heal in a weird way." For more on the LDS church shooting, including information on how to help the families of the victims, visit freep.com.
This is Liam Rapley for the Detroit Free Press. For a moment, Detroiters forgot about potholes because our latest hazard had teeth. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources confirmed social media rumors that yes, a small alligator had been spotted on Belle Isle. Staff had not seen the gator, but they did review a civilian photograph and use geolocation data to determine that the report was credible. But visitors, turtles, and ducks should no longer be alarmed. The gator, measuring 1.5 feet, was caught and rehomed on October 1st. Named Fafnir, the lady gator was captured by Steve Hart and Troy Katayan and relocated to a reptile care facility in Westland. Michael Wilson and Kate Minar, who operate the Great Lakes Serpentarium where Fafnir now lives, estimate she's about 2 years old. They guess she was somebody's pet before being let loose onto the island. Officials at the DNR emphasized that releasing wild animals or pets into state parks like Belle Isle is illegal and harmful to the animal, the ecosystem, and public safety. For more on Fafnir's story, visit freep.com.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend, and you'll hear more from us Monday.